Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Balatro Showdown number 2 finals. Today, I'm joined by Mikey, Will, and Mason, who all won their previous games in the group stage. And I think this is going to be a really good finals that we have. Just to kind of give everyone an overview of the finals that we have today. Once again, the rules are you're only allowed to use red, blue, yellow, green, or black deck. You'll have 90 minutes to score the highest single round score that you possibly can. We'll be playing on white stake, and I am going to give you guys the seed. Today's seed is Fake Seed. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat, in the Discord that we're all in, as well as Twitch chat for anyone that wants to watch or play along. Now, you guys can go ahead and already kind of get started in. Don't click start yet just now, but make sure you're loaded in, getting ready to play. I'll go ahead and get the music started so everyone watching on the Twitch stream has nice Balatro music in the background. Yep, that looks correct for Mikey. That looks correct, Mason. You can go ahead and click play. And it looks correct for Will. All right, you guys have 90 minutes. I'll go ahead and give you a quick countdown. Your game begins in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and start. Best of luck. And give me 1 second for everyone in Twitch. I gotta go ahead and set this up. I'm going to be joined by Thomas here in just a second, but he was actively doing something else. So whenever he gets back, I'll have him in the casting booth with me. I really think that this one is going to be a great showing from everyone. I'm really excited to see what these 3 contestants can do. All right, I think we're all ready to go. So now, everyone listening, this seed is kind of insane, but you have to kind of build an early game econ. If you can get a lot of money going, then the seed in the later antes becomes kind of insane. I personally went the Lucky Cat route to begin with. I ended the game with a score of 6.2 E29 was my final score. It only took me 51 minutes to achieve that. So it's a nasty seed, but because I was going lucky cards, I was offered a crazy amount of lucky cards to begin with. And kind of having those go off constantly, with later I found oops all sixes, kind of enabled that, because by ante 5 I had like 400 gold that I was sitting with, and later I transitioned into an idol build. I had double idols, and then some retriggers that I found. It was a really insane run. I ended up kind of tuning my deck completely by like ante 8, where I had 25 cards and they were all kings of spades. So it can get insane if you can find the right pieces, but with that said, it's kind of hard to find those pieces. I kind of got lucky going for the Lucky Cat and all those lucky cards to begin with, that I was able to reroll the shop just an insane amount. Way more than I think that these people will be able to do, or without knowing that, way more than I think they'll be trying to do. So I don't know if they'll find the same pieces that I did. It looks like Mason and Will are all 3 of them, I guess, are all going for the egg, which is pretty good because that'll get them some nice econ early, although I don't think it's going to be enough to repeat the run that I had, but I could be proven wrong. I just saw Will pick up the Venus there. It's funny because that's what Mason said that he was wanting to do with his run just a little bit ago before we started the stream. So it's funny to watch Will copying him. The free reroll per shop is going to be pretty big. That's kind of useful for Will there. Just with this game, always getting to see more Jokers is the absolute best thing that you can do. Getting to see more shops, getting to see more tarot cards, more Jokers is just always better. Mason and Will both going with the Gros Michel there for that little plus mult. That can carry them, I think, for a few antes. Whereas Mikey is instead kind of, I guess, relying a bit more on the Fortune Teller. Early Temperance to give him a boost there on Mikey is kind of nice. You see Will pull up the oops all sixes. He's trying to make it fit in. Let's see if what he sells here. I think he's selling Shoot the Moon, which I think is objectively a good play. Shoot the Moon can be great, but without knowledge that there's a mime, and without having like a big X-Molt or anything to re-trigger, it's not that good. And it's definitely not as good as some builds you can get with Oops All Sixes. I think he's probably hoping for some sort of a Bloodstone. Or maybe he saw some stuff to go lucky. Mason pulling the blueprint there in the Anti-3 Buffoon pack. It looks like Will might see it too here. There it is. All three of them at the same time. Pulling up with the blueprint in the Mega Buffoon pack. I think it's gonna. They all better take it here. Like all three of them have to take this. Mason also opting to pick up the Polychrome Reserve Parking, which I think is a decent move. Just to try to get that econ going, as well as combined with the Gros Michel, that'll help just like boost him through the first few antes without really having to care what he's playing or how optimized his deck is. The Wheel of Fortune landing on the Gros Michel though there for Mason is unfortunate, because that's gonna break any second now, probably, and just not getting to carry that through towards the later game is gonna be kind of a problem. It looks like Mikey's looking to use Wheel of Fortune here as well. Also taking the Hermit here to kind of build that econ. Mikey also landing the Wheel of Fortune on a Joker that I don't expect him to continue to have in his build in the later game. It's not bad for now, but you'd like to see that land instead on like the blueprint. All of them with very similar builds to begin with. I didn't expect this as much. I was kind of telling them before the game that there's a lot of builds are possible, which I guess is true for any seed, but I was expecting a bit more early game variety. I was expecting to kind of see the blueprint picked up and maybe the Hanging Chad, but not too much overlap between them. But it looks like they're all kind of opting for similar early game stuff, kind of following the same path. It's funny because none of them are doing the build that I started with. Like I said, I had the Lucky Cat build with a lot of lucky cards early, and that made my later game just kind of go insane. I'm not seeing that here from them. So it'll be interesting to see if they have access to the same stuff I had later on, which was a Brainstorm, which was, I think I found it Ante 8 or 9, like really deep in the shop, if I remember correctly. Also, I found a Sakabuskin and an Invisible Joker by like re-rolling the shop like crazy. We'll see. It's only been about 9 minutes since we started, just a little under 9 minutes. So if you're joining, there's not too much of a scoreboard update. I haven't received any messages from anyone, so I am just kind of looking for an opportunity to take note of their scores now and start to get that scoreboard update going. Lots of re-rolling again. The reroll glut is really big from Will. He can reroll like crazy now. That'll be big for him finding the pieces later in this run. Mikey with a score of 13,875. I do think that he scored higher. But we're just going to take note of that for now. Mason with 18,538. I also think he might have scored higher by now, but we'll take note. Will with a pretty good score there of 19,530. I did see a lot of Queen of Hearts there. It looks like he might have been doing that originally with the Shoot the Moon. He found Oops All Sixes a second time. So that's a piece that I might expect these others to come across too, with as much as they've all been re-rolling. Mikey also coming across Oops All Sixes there. This is another thing that I think will set the run that I mentioned earlier with that 6.2 E29 apart from them. I think it was 6.2 E29. I know it's E29. Let me get a verification on that other score I was talking about. It was 6.7 E29. I usually don't pick up the vouchers that like increase the chances that you'll come across tarot cards or planet cards because I do like to see more jokers. But I had so much money and I already kind of had a good build going in Ante 4 with the Lucky Cat that, or I don't know if I had the Lucky Cat yet, but I had a good build going with lucky cards in general that I was like, screw it, I'll pick up the tarot card voucher to increase the frequency I see tarot cards in my shop. And that got me access to so many more lucky cards. And then later got me access to a lot of deck tuning stuff to turn all my lucky cards into glass cards with seals on them. And with none of them picking them up here, Will with 21,411. With none of them picked that up here, so far as I've seen, they might not have access to the same amount of tarot cards that I did, and their deck tuning might suffer a little bit. Just the difference in the strategies they take. I think they all know typically that's not a great pick to begin with, but for some reason I went along with taking that voucher, and it worked out for me in the end. I think with them having already blueprint and some good stuff to kind of get them through a little bit, I do think having more tarot cards might benefit them all. Some judgment for the glass, or just, you know, death to copy some kings or jacks or whatever they're trying to play with. I think Will's going for hearts and kings, I think, is his end goal. Playing a flush house there, which is an interesting play. 22, 7, 24 from Will. Mason coming across the oops all sixes. If I'm right about Will, he's gonna death like one of those lower cards into a King of Hearts. But little big guy in chat, Christian. This is the current score right now. This is really going to be subject to change any second now because their builds are just getting started. Like Mikey there with 23, 2, 3, 8 is going to put him on top. These scores also might not be the most accurate. But yeah, it's pretty close. They're all very, very close. They all have very similar builds, which is unexpected from this run so far. I really expected a more diverse kind of set. Like Extreme said in chat, that's Ethan. Shout out Ethan. They are still on their first run. None of them have restarted yet. They've seen a lot of stuff, but they haven't really done anything too crazy. I think Mason might score something kind of decent here. 21, 884. Will picked up the Showman, which I think is always a good pick, but I tried that in my run as well, and it didn't come across anything that was too exciting. So maybe he'll have more luck than I did. I didn't hold on to it for too long, just because I already kind of settled into a build that I was going for, and the Showman really wasn't going to help me, and I needed to swap it out. Yeah, exactly. They're just finding their strats right now. I think the blueprint seems to be oh, Mikey restarting early. I don't know what he saw that made him want to restart, but that's an interesting play from him. I think Mikey's also the note taker of this group, so he might have been taking note of something and going back to optimize while he still has time. Let's see. There is currently 1 hour and 13 minutes remaining. I'm going to bring Mikey in and kind of chat with him for a second. I think Thomas also just came in.
Yes, sir.
Welcome in, Thomas. You can see kind of everything we got going on here. They all kind of started off similar with that blueprint, and Mikey, you can see an anti-one just restarting, picking up the egg. They all kind of start with an egg.
Restart?
That is the first restart. Which I'm going to bring him in and actually ask him why he went ahead and did that.
Yeah, restarting at anti-6.
Welcome in, Mikey. We saw you restarted at like anti 5 or 6. What did you see that made you want to do that? Like, what's your strategy with this restart?
I've got a lot of magicians, so I'm thinking I'm gonna try and go luck route. There was an oops all 6 at some point too, so I think I'm gonna try and just go for a luck build.
I think that
I was trying to go for a queen multi, but I just kept getting magician a lot. I decided to there.
Did you see anything else besides the oops all 6s you think would benefit you with that luck build?
I don't think I did.
I think you had that
I might
blueprint,
not have gone
right?
far enough. I did have blueprint. I do remember where to get that.
But blueprint doesn't work with oops all 6s, so I guess you could always use that for something else that you find though, just to kind of help get more molts or chips.
Yeah.
Or more retriggers.
I'm gonna grab it just to try to survive early on.
Yeah, but best of luck. It's been an interesting run so far. You guys are all like neck and neck right now. Your score, I might have missed a higher score. I just kind of flashed the scoreboard for everyone that is currently watching. Mikey, you are currently in second, as far as I've noted, with a score of 23,238. But woo! You're like very, very close to the other contestants. You guys are all kind of very similar starts, very similar strats to begin with. But you're the first restart, so maybe your strategy will work out.
We'll see.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
So we have a Thomas fan in chat with Christian right there. Christian says Tommy with an exclamation point and it says hi Tommy. Also, forgive me, I have to plug in my headset really quick. I'm back. I can hear you again. This might be a good score from Will. 48,400.
It crushes what he had prior.
Whoops. I accidentally clicked onto the wrong screen there. That is crush what he had prior. With a couple viewers I have in chat, who are you guys rooting for currently? I know Hannah says Mikey my goat, but are you actually rooting for Mikey, or is that just, are you just like rooting for them all and Mikey happens to be one of the three that's playing? Mason with 23,364 there, which is a little bit higher than the previous score I noted. But it seems like they're not really getting anything too crazy going by like ante 6. They're kind of in the Mikey restarting again, which I think is just fine for now. He only has it's only been about 20 minutes since we started, still 70 minutes remaining. Hannah's rooting for everyone but mostly Mikey, which that's fair. What about you, Christian? I know you're good friends with all three of them. It's kind of your friends duking it out. You previously have had allegations, Christian, of rooting for different people and kind of swapping who's your goat. So who are you rooting for specifically? And don't say all three of them because you're not allowed to. While I wait for Christian's response in chat, Mason picking up the fortune teller is, and Will finding the brainstorm in the buffoon pack. So that's where it's at. It's an ante 7. That's big, but he doesn't have a lot of pieces that he has to pick it up, right? You can't swap, you can't skip the brainstorm. But he doesn't have anything that would be crazy with the brainstorm right now. So he's giving up one of his jokers with the grocery sale still staying around, but also providing him the chips. The tribe, not really that good. It's only a ×2. He's going to be in trouble a little bit if he can't find another joker to kind of give him more molt. Even with brainstorm blueprint, it can be kind of hard to navigate without a solid kind of strat to use them for. And it looks like here he's kind of just going face card flushes, not particularly. He found the idol, which is a really good thing if his deck was tuned more. It's not fixed well enough to really make it worth it, because he does have a lot of hearts, but he doesn't have a particular rank that he's going for right now.
By the way, Mason just hit 69316.
69316. Thank you for that. Let's see. We'll find the idol again. I think the game's trying to tell him something. Mason found the Cavendish banana, and Will fortuned it to make it foil, which is solid. That 3x is nice, but like I said before, like without a strategy to really put something together, you can brainstorm blueprint a 3x and it'll get you probably through the later antes with a solid enough build, but without like that really big combo piece, it's not going to get you much further than that. You're not going to get crazy scores that we know all three of them can put up. I think it's probably adding to the how tense this game is it's a tough seed to find all the right pieces, but you do get access to a brainstorm blueprint. But all three of them get access to the same thing. And all three of them are such talented Balatro players that if you can't put up crazy scores, you know that the others can, and they might have found something you didn't. So it just adds so much pressure. I was kind of talking about this earlier, but for anyone that just popped in, my score on the seed was 6.7 E29. And that's what the build that Mikey kind of suggested he was going to go with. So we'll see if he can pull off something similar to what I did. But I did transition later. So I started with the Lucky Cat build. He doesn't know there's Lucky Cat. I don't know if he saw it. But I went Lucky Cards, chanced into the Lucky Cat. I already had Oops All Sixes. Just built up crazy econ. And then just rerolled a ton. Later found Sock and Buskin, Brainstorm, Blueprint, and an Idol and an Invisible Joker. And then I ended up with 2 Idols. So it was Brainstorm, Blueprint, Brainstorm, Blueprint, Sock and Buskin, Idol, and then I also had Lucky Cat in there as well. One of them was negative, I think. And it was just an insane kind of build I put together because it the going lucky in the beginning just made the econ go crazy. Mason's putting up a big score there, 166, 380.
Yeah, his builds are just getting better and better. His previous big one was 146.
We'll put up a 93,952 there. I have a good feeling. I'm calling it now. We are 26 minutes into this game, roughly. I have a feeling we're going to see at least 2 of them get into the E's by the end of this run. Mason finding the Brainstorm there.
Mikey still doesn't even know about Brainstorm.
Yeah, he hasn't seen far enough to really come across that. We'll find a Mime, which I also saw in my run. Mime can be really good if you expect to have like a Baron or Shoot the Moon with the big X-Molt on there somewhere. But I don't think he saw any of those pieces that would really work best with Mime, so it's tempting. But I think it was the correct play not to pick it up. Mason going with the Idol. Also picking up some of the Magicians. I think he's getting a sense that there's something with the lucky cards going on this run. Maybe he's just trying to get Will ending there with a game over screen. Unfortunate. We'll bring him in. We'll keep him around after I kind of give everyone a time update. But going back to Mason, I think he's also sensing something with the lucky cards. He's gonna start trying to deck tune, it looks like, too, because he knows that the Idol is best when you have kind of one set card that you're using. I'm gonna go ahead and bring everyone in now, kind of give him a time update, and then we'll stick around just to kind of chat with him. Welcome in, everyone. I wanted to give a time update. You guys are 27 minutes into this, so roughly 1/3 of the way through. Your scores, you guys have been kind of tight. I don't want to spoil anything, but you guys all kind of had similar beginnings, and then you started to branch off in different directions with your strategy and with what jokers you were keeping. So it's been really interesting to watch because I expected the opposite, or maybe a little bit more of a similar beginning, and it started different and then became similar and then branched again. It was kind of weird. But you guys have roughly 60 minutes remaining, a little bit more than 60 minutes. I'm going to send Mikey and Mason back, but Will, I want to keep you around and kind of just chat with you about what I'm seeing so far.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for taking him, please.
So we saw you had a game over screen there.
Yeah, so I was looking at the run info, and the boss blind was like all heart cards are debuffed, so I was just spam rolling for the Joker that could reroll the boss blind.
Yeah,
there's no vouchers, so I'm taking a non-heart route this run because there's no way to avoid that boss blind.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there, but did you see anything that you want to change about your, like you said you're not going hearts this run, but was there maybe a different strategy you're kind of looking into?
Early game's pretty simple. Towards the higher antes, there's like Baron and what else was it? I was trying to run Showman and try and get into greed for another blueprint. What was it? There was Baron, there was there's another Joker. Definitely a different route from Hearts though that can still work out.
Yeah, you still have plenty of time. It'll be interesting to see. You are currently, let me double check. I don't have perfectly updated scores because we have been missing a few little hands. You're currently in second. It's still really tight though. So like second place, but it's anyone's game at this point. I don't think that anyone in particular is running away with it. So best of luck with you. Hopefully your non-hearts run goes a little bit better. And I'm excited to see what you can put together.
Thank you.
And Mikey ending with the game over there in Ante 4 was a kind of interesting to see from him. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's definitely, if it wasn't intentional, then it's not his best gameplay. I know Mikey, and I know that he can play really well, and if that wasn't on purpose, Mikey, I know you can do better. I'm disappointed in you.
So Mason, during that, by the way, already broke his record twice.
Okay.
And he's now sitting at 1,445,850.
I will put that in the updates.
And like just a hand before that, he had 500k.
There we go. There's the scores. So just as I said, no one was running away with it. It looks like Mason is starting to run away with it a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
But like I said, if I can put up, it took me 51 minutes on my first try on the seed without any prior knowledge of the seed to put up E29. So with over 60 minutes remaining, and they already have kind of an optimized early game a little bit or knowledge of what the seed contains. I definitely,
Mikey and Will still haven't even gotten to Ante 8 themselves.
Yeah, I definitely.
Once that happens, we'll start seeing more.
I definitely expect the highest score to be like E15 plus. If the winning score is not E15 plus, then I would be kind of shocked. There's so much deck fixing in this. I think you might not have been here for it, but I was also kind of talking about it in one of the, I think it's Ante 4 or 5. You come across the tarot voucher that increases the frequency that you see tarot cards. And usually that's not great to take because it lowers the amount that you see jokers. But if you kind of have a good idea of what jokers you can pick up, or if good jokers are in the packs, like we know both Brainstorm and Blueprint are in packs, you can find those easily. Yeah. It's really good because you can deck fix for the exact kind of run you want to build really, really well. It'll be big for Mikey if he is going to keep going that lucky card run, because you can come across so many magicians to keep fixing lucky cards. You come across so many deaths to keep copying lucky cards. So you can not only fix to have lucky cards in the first place, but you can fix to have just the same rank or same suits. For example, Will now knows he doesn't want hearts, but he didn't see anything else that was like spades are debuffed or diamonds are debuffed that I can recall. So if he just goes with like King of Spades instead of King of Hearts, which is what I ended up doing, then it can be a really good run. It can be kind of insane. Oh, that's what it was. I didn't have a negative Joker in my build. I did have, if you take the blank voucher here, you do get antimatter a little bit later. That's how I had 6 Jokers. I was misremembering earlier. So I had the blank voucher into antimatter. So I had Blueprint, Brainstorm, Sock and Buskin, Idol, another Idol I got from an invisible Joker, and the Lucky Cat that was like 85x on the end, which didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I just liked it because it was a big number. Really, really big Lucky Cat. Most of the with E29, most of that came from all the retriggers. I had shifted away from lucky cards late into the antes to go for King of Spades that were glass with a red seal, and I was playing flush 5s. That was kind of my strat.
Mason just got, what is that, 32 billion? 32,739,616,800.
That's a big number.
32,739,616,800. Holy cow. He's also finally on Ante 9.
So then a scoreboard update. This is what it looks like. But I do think that, like, even with that score, his endless scales so quickly. He needs more retriggers here. He desperately needs that Sock and Buskin.
What's the time we're sitting at?
We are currently at 54 minutes remaining.
I mean, shit, he might have a second turn to even get better.
He might, but he has to make that decision soon. Because if he plays this one out, I think he is beatable still. And with his... The Idol's really good, but he doesn't have a lot of retriggers. He can always make more, I guess, with the Blueprint Brainstorm, which I think would actually score higher than what he's doing right now. But he's gonna run into some problems really, really fast if he doesn't get more retriggers, or he doesn't have that extra Joker slot that you can get if you take Blink Voucher. Because I don't know if he saw Antimatter. I don't know if I don't know what the antimatter comes in. It might be the next one. It might be anti 10, or I didn't catch if he took the blank voucher earlier. So maybe he just doesn't have access to antimatter. Like he taking reroll Glut there, which is really good. Just to see more cards. So interesting to watch them. Like if you look at Mikey and Will right now, they're kind of on a similar pace. Mikey's got the only Joker that they have in common is the Blueprint, that's more what I expected previously. The first time they all kind of started, they all had very similar builds to begin with. Let's see. We're looking for Mikey. His highest scores, as far as I've caught, is still only about 23,000. Mason with a huge score here. Will. This is 1.35 E12. Will. If you want to get back at Mason here, this is your chance. He put his Glass King, if I caught that correctly, in the wrong spot. If that was a flush 5, which I think it was, Mason, your Glass King needs to be on the end. Or no, wait, sorry. You have Hanging Chad. I apologize. That was correct. Yeah, that was correct. Never mind. ignore what I was saying. He did that correctly. So yeah, Will in his group, for anyone that didn't watch that game, he made some mistakes with how he was organizing his cards he was playing, and Mason was casting with me for that game, and we both caught his mistakes. So his final score could have been quite a bit higher. If he's ended up winning regardless, he's still here in the finals, but his final score could have been higher if he had just reorganized his cards he was playing around. And I thought I caught Mason slipping up there, but nah, he's perfect. It's there's no slip up there. Mikey with another game over screen. He's got to really start finding his ground here. Because it's we're sitting at about 50 minutes remaining, and without starting to get deep into a run here, like this run, maybe the next one, Mikey's not gonna have a chance at those monster scores. Mason with the big score here. Found Seltzer, and he did find the antimatter. It looks like 5.47 E14.
What's Will's current high score?
I have it written down as 93,952.
Okay, never mind.
Just a quick scoreboard update since it's been a while. This is what the score looks like. Mason with 5.47 E14. And Will and Mikey not even breaking into the six figures yet. They have been restarting a lot. So, you know, still plenty of time for them to put a run together. But you know, they gotta start making a move now. They gotta really start putting something together. I also want to point out that I asked Christian like 10 minutes ago, maybe a little bit more, 15 minutes ago, what he was rooting for, and he just ghosted us in chat. So thank you, little big guy.
Guy's a little stinky.
Little stinky.
Little stink guy.
Also, just kind of once again show anyone that might have come a little bit late to this. Mikey won Group 1 against Steve and Joey. Mason won Group 2 against CJ and Joel. Will won Group 3 against Hannah and Fabian, and now they're competing currently in the finals. The seed, if you missed it earlier, is Fake Seed. So go ahead and play along if you're still interested. Let's go back to the players, though. Mason, I just missed the restart. Literally the second.
It happened like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, Did I miss that? I'm clearly paying attention.
You got a game over. You got a game over, yeah.
Let's bring him in. I'm a bad host. I'm completely missing things. Welcome in, Mason. We saw your game over screen.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that run?
Pretty good. I went ahead and kind of force-ended it because I kept having a lot of glass cards break, and I was running out of money. I had like no econ generation, and I knew that run was coming to its end, so I just kind of went ahead and like closed it a little early. I would have had to get lucky to get a higher score than that. Yeah,
you have 47 minutes, so still plenty of time to put together a run, but that is starting to get like into the time where I would suggest like going for it.
Yeah.
So if you get deep into one, I think you kind of have to send it. Otherwise, you might have a little bit of time here to play around with.
Okay, dude, I was so confused. I was like, dude, I swear something's wrong. I think I typed the seed in wrong. I was like, dude, I know something's wrong here. That first pack should have been something different.
Was that brainstorming that seed, whatever seed you were playing?
Yeah, on the first shop, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's or second shop. I was like, I know that's not right. Dude, I thought the card draws were wrong too. I was like, what am I looking at?
But yeah, what are you thinking about this run that might make it a little different than your previous run? Help you get a high score.
I mean, you don't need econ at the start pretty much at all. So I swapped to black deck for the extra joker slot. Even though there really wasn't a whole lot of jokers I would have like wanted to trade out. But I had to stick with that banana for so damn long because the banana lasts till ante 6 if you didn't know, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't take it in mind. I had a different strat going by then.
No, that banana is the fucking man. Don't fuck with them. You mean business.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how black deck works out. It's a strategy I wish we would have saw more in the group stage. Just as I said, that Will scoring decent there, but not quite higher than his current high score.
Yeah.
But I wish that I saw that more in the group stage. We're seeing a lot of yellow deck in this. I think that's kind of the fan favorite. Probably requiring kind of a mix up in the next Balatro tournament where we don't allow yellow deck. We force people to mix it up some.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of them just like you start going and you kind of forget to change. Like,
yeah.
'cause, like I knew I even wanted to change to black deck, and I like still just forgot to do it.
But I'm interested to see how black deck works out. I hope that it makes it exciting for us.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me scores, but are we still pretty tight score wise?
You're not as tight as you were in the beginning. But you've also gone. You're the only person that has hit endless so far. So
yeah, I kind
take
of
it
had
with
a feeling based off of what I'd heard.
Yeah,
Will started custing this game, so I had a good idea.
Take it with a grain of salt. You're currently in first, but also the other, like Mikey and Will, have not yet really attempted to put together a crazy score like you have. So
Yeah.
they could be in like 10, 20 minutes here, like breathing down your neck with that score. But as of now, you are solidly in first place.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Well, best of luck. You still have 44 minutes and 30 seconds. So
Awesome.
about half the time remaining.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right.
And he's gone. I'm interested to see what like Will can put together here because he's getting a little deep. Mikey, I think, is going lucky cards with the Oops All Sixes and Brainstorm. Those other jokers, I think, are just to kind of help him survive for a little bit. I do like having someone here casting with me, Thomas, because before you had offered, I was worried I was going to be casting alone. And casting alone is fine. But it's a little bit hard, as you can already tell with me missing things, to like keep track of scores, keep track of all 3 contestants, check Discord occasionally to see if there's score updates from them. Also check chat. Also make sure that the stream is running smoothly. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on. So
I'm not too well versed on all the jokers and what's happening.
That's
But
perfectly
I can
fine.
tell you, I'm looking at big numbers. If I see a big number, I'll point it out.
Yeah, I think this for anyone
30.
that
Is it?
did I miss something?
What's his score again? Mikey's?
Mikey's score currently is
Will's
like
92.
Mikey's is 23,238.
Okay.
So we'll be looking for that.
Yeah, he just hit 30.
Okay, we'll start
Mikey's
looking for.
big score.
Well, 92,220. Is that better than what he had? No, it's not. What I was gonna say is that for anyone, I am posting these on YouTube as well as anyone in Twitch, but I think Twitch is just people we know. So if you're a viewer that I don't personally know, then thank you for watching. But I think as of now, or as of when I last checked, it was just people we knew. But for the YouTube viewers, which I'm getting a decent amount of, I would say, for someone that just started, 39,600 for Mikey.
Yep.
The purpose of these tournaments is not to show off the peak Balatro gameplay. They're more for fun. They're more for people to have a fun time playing a game in kind of a competitive atmosphere. It's a lot of our friends that are competing in these, or people that are friends of friends, or kind of people that we bring in. Once again, with that same exact score for Mikey.
Yeah.
So the purpose is not to show off the peak gameplay. It's more to show off that competing can be fun for people of all talents. And that the same goes for casting. Like, I've had Joey casting in this, and Joey's kind of scared to cast for things that he's not as well versed in. But our friend Joey is great to cast with because he just asks questions. He points out big numbers like Thomas is doing. He just kind of sits here and talks. And that's kind of really, really solid when I just need someone to kind of bounce off of. So tournaments like this can be fun for people of all skill levels. And with all the tournaments I plan to run in the future, that's a theme you'll continue to see, is just any skill level tournaments that are kind of open for whoever's interested, playing games that, obviously the people with higher skill level are going to do better, but playing games where it's still fun to compete even if you don't end up winning. Mikey with 46,688 there. And I think that's like a fresh take that we need in the streaming and competitive gaming atmosphere, is that, with a lot of esports or competitive games, it's always just the peak players that most average competitors. Yeah, most people can't relate to that. I think it's a bit more fun and relatable to watch people that aren't experts at the game do something related to the game. 94,548. But enough about the philosophy here. We do have a message from Hannah who competed. She says, "Oh yeah, I was super nervous to participate in the tournament because I don't play Balatro very much. Looking back, I should have just practiced more, or at least got myself more familiar with Joker cards I hadn't seen yet. But I still enjoyed it a lot." And I think that's the purpose of these, is just to kind of make it fun for people, even if you're not perfect at the game. We ran.
It's also something I think I really like about the YouTube uploads, is that, Hannah, when you play more and know more about the game too, you can look back at it and be like, oh man, I can't believe I did all that back then. Because like just recently, Mikey was showing the VOD review and walking me through his mentality, because like he's not in the call the whole time as well, and he gets to tell me his thought process while you're still chatting over it.
Will with 204,988.
YouTube upload's really nice. VOD reviews are fun.
They're always great. Something I've been trying to run for a while that I kind of have pulled back on, that I plan to push probably starting next year. I've been trying to put together a Valorant tournament with a lot more people in the Valorant community.
Mikey with 116,532.
16532. I'll give a scoreboard update in just a second. Probably around the same time I pull them in for a time update. But I've been trying to put together a Valorant tournament, and my goal with that is really to be kind of an any rank tournament for just a bunch of people to bring their teams or their friends together and compete against other groups of friends, rather than 236,280, rather than competing with people that are the best and making a super sweaty kind of pro game. It's kind of fallen through twice now, so the next attempt will be the third attempt to put it together. If you check on my YouTube channel, there are those Valorant skirmishes that were kind of a replacement or like a filler to just play something on a day that we were planning to run a tournament. But I plan to do other games in the future besides Balatro. And with Mikey with 154,880 there. And my philosophy is always going to be like, I want it to be both fun and competitive. And part of bringing fun is making it so that people that are less skilled or maybe less experienced can still have a good time playing.
That skirmish was hella fun too.
Yeah, that was great. I had a great time. But enough about the channel and about my kind of philosophy on it. I do want to kind of, I haven't done too much focuses here on anyone yet, so I'm trying to find a good moment to either focus it on Mikey or Will, since they're a bit deeper in their run.
Will's finally almost getting to endless mode,
which is exciting because he does have the brainstorm and the blueprint. Is the score that 333,840 is enough? He is making it to endless. Kind of give a little scoreboard update here. Mason with 5.47 E14 currently in the lead. Will with 333.840 and Mikey with 154.880. But Will and Mikey have not touched Endless yet. So I'm excited to see kind of what scores they can put together when they actually start getting into Endless mode.
One thing I'll say about Mason's scores right now is that I don't think he was hitting these high scores in Ante 4 that he is now. So it looks like he's changed quite a bit.
It looks like he's running. He knows the brainstorm happens later. He's playing black deck, so the 6 jokers. He'll have 7 with blank voucher antimatter. So Mason's gonna have 1 extra joker than everyone. There are a couple opportunities to make a negative joker, although in mine I had some. I think I got a negative like blue joker, and I only had like 15 cards in my deck at that point, so it was really wasted. Will with the 447.720 there.
Mikey with another game over.
That might cost Mikey. I'm gonna.
What is it? 35 minutes now.
35 minutes. I'm gonna bring Mikey. I'm gonna bring them all in. Give him a time update. Also, see if Mikey wants to go for it. Welcome in, everyone. I wanted to give you a time update. There are currently 35, a little bit more, just a few seconds more than 35 minutes remaining. So if you are early in a run, or just kind of starting to get to your good scores, you might not have time to start a new run. This is like, essentially, whatever run you're currently on is likely your last chance to get crazy scores. If you don't make your time count now, you probably will not be able to compete for the winning or for winning this final. I am seeing some interesting builds come out from all 3 of you. I'm excited to see what you can put together in kind of the last roughly 1/3 of this finals match. Currently, the scoreboard, it was close the last time I gave you guys all an update, but Mason has put up a pretty good score, and he's currently in the lead. Mikey and Will, you guys are kind of battling it out for second at the moment. So I'm excited to see if one of you can chase down Mason, or if you guys end up making a good race for second. Either way, I think you guys all still, with 35 minutes remaining, have a really good chance to put together an insane run. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more really good scores. Best of luck.
Sweet.
Mason also just game overed right there.
I saw that.
I think the ball is still in Will's court to maybe eke out first place.
Like I said,
But I don't think he's going to better his score now.
He's I'm interested to see, because Mikey, like I said, I played yellow deck, 6.7 E29. That was my first attempt on this seed without any prior knowledge of what was on it. Mikey found my strategy that I was doing. I just transitioned later in the game to an idle build, kind of like what Mason and Will were trying to do, or what Mason did with his run. I transitioned into that at the end of my run, but I had so much money from playing lucky cards the whole time that I also found Sock and Buskin. And I found an invisible joker through like a million rerolls. That it just, I was able to score a little bit higher than what Mason was able to put together there. Just because I had the lucky strat in the beginning. Mikey's a good enough player that he knows that the lucky cat strat is not going to be like an E. It's not going to get you to the E20s. So if he follows through with his lucky cat strat, which I don't think he's even seen lucky cat yet, but if he follows through with his lucky build in general and just follows in the footsteps that I had, he might catch Mason. Like he has a chance here if he really like sticks a good build together and makes it into endless mode. Mason with a game over screen there. Welcome in, CJ. Let me add you to
Hey, you
the.
can keep it up, or you just join in.
No, I'm not. I'm not. What's happening?
Are you?
We got quite a
I'm playing
bit.
this team game,
Are you?
so I don't know.
Are you planning to stay in cast with us, or are you just kind of hopping in?
I'll cast a little bit.
Okay, because I don't want to get. I've had a couple times in the past where we bring in someone to cast, and they end up playing a different game and getting the casting call all messed up. So I don't want to have that happen this time. Not adding anyone, but there's been 2 people, if you watch the previous 3 videos, that have done that to me. You know who you are.
Yeah, they got red butts when we were finished with them.
Should at them at the end of the stream. So I didn't play the seed. What's the run here? What's it looking like?
So I can get scoreboard update for you and for everyone else. Mason's in lead with 5.47 E14. Will and Mikey are in the hundreds of thousands. They both. Mason kind of came across the run that he needed. I think this is going to be it for Will. Maybe he might eke it out here, but Mason found it's a brainstorm blueprint you find in packs. I think in NT 3 and NT 7. No, that's enough from Will. 1.11 or 1.159 million there. The strat is blueprint brainstorm. I think Mason was using hanging chad, but there is a sock and buskin if you have enough money to reroll a ton. And the end game strat that I think is what I used and what Mason was going for is glass card kings with the idol and just getting that 2x with all the retriggers. Mason also had a Cavendish, but he just couldn't find anything to replace it. They all started on yellow deck, but Mason since has switched to black deck because he found that the econ in the early game wasn't as important. Which I think is a good strategy if he can just put a good run together here. They have 28 minutes left. I see Grimesy in chat. That's Marky. She's sitting kind of a little bit over there reading her book right now, just popping in. That's my fiance. But
Nice flex.
I see Will has some good jokers, but no econ to really reroll.
yeah, I think that's kind of I've been talking about it a little bit. But I think Mikey earlier decided he wanted to go for a lucky build because there's 2 Oops All Sixes, and there's a bunch of Magician tarot cards, and doing that gets your early game econ so crazy. And Will didn't really do that. He has lucky cards, but he hasn't been. I don't think this run he used the Oops All Sixes all that much, and he doesn't really have a lot of ways to retrigger except for picking up now the Seltzer with the Hanging Chad. So his lucky cards are his best way to get money, but it's so late that he just kind of has to hope he's lucky with those lucky cards and rolling into money. If he can find. He did find the antimatter. If he can find like another beefy kind of joker here, like the idol, I think he already missed the opportunity for that. But if he can find something to replace the trio, I think that is, which is just a flat X-Molt. If he can find something that scales with all those retriggers, he might have a chance at a really insane score here. But if he can't, then his run's going to die really soon. He doesn't really have a good enough way to score high cards.
Oh my goodness! I just looked at what you had. You had 85x on your lucky cat.
And that's I only kept that because I couldn't find anything late game to keep it. Or to get rid of it. Like I will with 5 million there. 5078. Yeah, I couldn't find anything to like replace it with that late in the game. I was looking for like another retrigger card, something like a Hanging Chad, because both of the idols are doing all the work there. And the Lucky Cat was just kind of deflects that I had boosted it up so much. But early game, the Lucky Cat with all the lucky cards was my strat, and it only was like ante 8 or 9 when I saw the idol that I really started to pivot into glass card kings. Ultimately ended up losing, not because my scores were low, but because I just ran out of cards in my deck. I got to a point where I there's Will with the Sock and Buskin.
Ooh, Sock and Buskin.
Get rid of the trio, right? Or he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any multiplier if he does that.
No, it's Seltzer. It's about to drop anyway.
He needs
Yeah,
to
Lucky
find
Cat.
like the Lucky Cat might be. Lucky Cat's
late.
definitely worse. It's too late. There's an earlier one for sure. There's one like ante 3 or 4 if you reroll enough. I don't remember where I found mine, but there's no way I got it to 80 in like 2 antes.
Man,
But if he'd taken the idol
a
earlier,
problem.
it's too late now. But he saw the idol.
yeah.
If he had the idol in his thing right now and was able to tune his deck enough, it would be really, really good.
I feel like here would be also something to pivot to glass for Will.
Yeah, he definitely should be pivoting here. This should be a decent score for him. 3 million. He definitely needs another kind of something to bounce off of. Besides Photograph and the trio.
Yeah.
There's currently 24 minutes remaining. Thomas in chat.
Is Mikey finally gonna break ante 6?
I hope so. Please, Mikey. Please, Mikey. Please, Mikey. Yeah, Will might
get
be in trouble
more-
here.
Would there be more value if Will went for repeated the Hanging Chad?
I don't think so. Because the Hanging Chad will repeat 2 additional times. And the Sock and Buskin, you're right, because he would be getting more 2x. The Photograph would go off more
Yeah.
with Hanging Chad repeated. I think he's thinking about that right now. I'm interested to see what Mason's putting together with his black deck up there in the corner. Yeah, you're right. You know what, CJ? If he swapped Sock and Buskin and the Hanging Chad, he would have more
Especially if you
retriggers.
put the glass card first too.
Yeah. 87, 209, 460.
I guess he's infamous for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hannah's asking, IDK, if you've talked about it before, she's asking like what seeds, how I decide which seeds to use. I have a couple different strategies. Usually I just kind of come up with an idea. I just brain out stuff. Like for the group stages, I was kind of just thinking of letters. I'm like, oh, the first one could be a bunch of A's. And then I'll try a seed for the first few antes and see if it's fun. If like ante 5 or 6, if I haven't really seen enough to really want to play it, I just stop and go to a different seed. I usually start with like it's white stake. I do gold deck, and I just try to go for a simple kind of econ build, just so I can reroll a lot and see what's available. Buy every pack, try a bunch of different things. So for like the group stage, I tried like different, like I tried like AA, AAA, 5 A's, 2 B's, 3 C's, and just tried a bunch of stuff, and then started playing around with it a bit more. And then there are like seed things online where if you type in a seed, you can kind of look at what shops you're expected to see or what comes in each pack. If I'm really desperate, like if I'm running out of time to find a good seed, or like for the group stages, I really like to have the seeds picked ahead of time before I make the groups. But for the final seed, like this one, I didn't have it picked before the finals. So I think in the first tournament, I was a bit desperate for one of the seeds that I used the seed preview thing. There's like a website you can find that gives you the preview. But for this one, I just was trying random things. I just typed in like champion or like MMW or just whatever kind of popped into my head. And one of the things that popped in my head was fake seed. And what really enticed me to it was the early blueprint. And Mikey noted this earlier, and he's gonna beat himself up for when I show him my score. But he noted there's a lot of magicians. The tarot card magician comes up an insane amount. He's like, yeah, I want to go for a lucky build. There's a lot of magicians. And I caught that. I caught that on the seed, like ante 4 or 5. I had Lucky Cat, I think, from early on in the seed. I don't remember where exactly I got Lucky Cat, but it was pretty early. And I was like, this is a fun build.
Got Will. Will hovering over it. His run's over, bruh. He's facing the plant.
I didn't catch that. I was so busy looking at Mikey's run up there.
He hovered his mouse over it.
But I pick a seed just like I try out a bunch of random things, and eventually something is kind of fun enough in the beginning and looks decent enough to cast that I'll run with it. With this one, I was trying to find something a bit more open-ended, so I wanted to see a variety of builds. So although I had the Lucky Cat build with a bunch of money, that only just benefited me because I could re-roll a bunch. It helped me make a really good run in the end, but the econ was insane, so I could see that there's a lot of pieces to do a variety of different things in the end. And I kind of just landed. It just seemed like a good seed. And then obviously biased because my first run was so fun and so good that I was like, yep, I want to see 3 talented players also do something fun with the seed. And I think so far it's been nice. I do think Mikey has to really start putting something together here. Mason is sitting with that good run to begin with. And Will he needs something else to survive here. If he could hear us, that's it for Will with that best hand of 84,193,920. I'm gonna bring Will in, and kind of just chat with him. See if he's planning to do another one. Welcome in, Will. We see your run ended. You have currently 18 minutes left. Are you thinking about trying to do another run?
Shoot, I could try and speed run.
If you want to, you're currently in second. So if you're done now, you are forfeiting the lead, or you're forfeiting the win.
I will try to speed run.
Okay. Best of luck. I'll send you back. I'm not going to spend too much time talking to you because you do have limited time to put this run together.
Alrighty.
And with that, I think Mason might be done. So I'm going to bring Mason in. Welcome in, Mason.
What's up, big dog?
You're done.
Yeah.
If you want to call it, then you currently have 17 minutes and 30 seconds left if you want to try one more time. Otherwise, you can just...
Nah, I can't get back. I can't get back there at 17 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead
not on this seed.
If you're officially calling it...
Yep.
Then you're welcome to tune into my stream.
Yeah, I'd love to help kind of...
Let me go ahead and... Oops, you're this one.
What's Mikey's score right now?
Mikey's score currently is 154,880.
Okay, he did beat that recently.
Okay.
572,969.
Yeah, I think this one right here is actually about to beat it as well.
There it is.
Yeah,
that is what
580,000.
500.
Mason, you had a really good run. I do want to let you in. And now that you're here, your scoreboard update. You just had that, but I'll put it on the screen for everyone else again. You're clearly in the lead here. Will is trying to speed run his last playthrough here because he only scored 87 million, and we let him know that he was still in second, and that he either had to forfeit first or run again.
Yeah, I don't know. He might, if he gets extremely lucky, he'll have enough time. But
my first playthrough on this, it took me 51 minutes. I scored 6.7 E29.
Yeah, I feel like, was I just before something big or no?
No, I had. This is so funny. I've already said this recently a few times, but you're hearing this for the first time. Mikey came in earlier after his first run. We brought him in and was talking to him, and he's like, you know what? There's a lot of magicians in this run. I wonder if I should do like, I might try to do a lucky build. What I did is I did. There's a lucky cat in like ante 3 or 4, and there's also 2 Oops All Sixes you can find. If you don't pick up the first one, the second one comes just a little bit later.
Yeah.
I went lucky card crazy, almost out of the gate. Built up just disgusting econ. Like I think I had 400 gold by sitting by like ante 6 or 7. I can send you the screenshot of what I had in the end, but I was lucky card, lucky cat, like re-triggers like crazy.
I don't know where the lucky cat was. I never saw it, and I feel like through shops 4, like ante 4, I was like buying everything.
Let me see. I'll send you.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys had saw my first run before I fully went into scoring. I had the blueprint, brainstorm, and I was making so much money. But you kind
of had something that you kind of had something that was similar in the end to what I was going with, but I had so much more shops rerolls than you did by the time I got there.
Yeah.
That this was my final build. I transitioned from Lucky Cat because it wasn't working. I was trying to find a piece to replace it. Eventually I found Sock and Buskin, and which Will has already found once. That's what he put up in his score. But I had the idol, which you had.
If I would have had the sock for my idol.
So I transitioned into Glass Kings with re-triggers. And then I found an Invisible Joker, which you were just before that. You were just a bit before the Invisible Joker, so I got lucky with a second idol. I was hoping for Sock and Buskin or another Brainstorm or Blueprint or something. And then I was really hunting for like 2 or 3 antes to try to find a replacement for the Lucky Cat, because it was 85 times, but it wasn't 85 times on top of E28 isn't really that big. So I was really really hunting for something, and I couldn't find it, and then I ended up losing because, like, similar to you, all my glass cards just broke.
Yeah, the glass cards in this seed just like insta break, man.
But the difference was the lucky cards for me early gave me just insane econ like instantly.
Yeah, I had really good econ as well from the start all the way until I want to say like right after, or maybe like the start of Endless. I sold out of like, or just before Endless, I sold out of my Oops All Six, so I was losing some money from lucky cards.
Mikey
and then
updated.
Yeah, so
811,000.
Mikey, yeah, Mikey could catch Will here with.
Yeah, they have They have 12 minutes remaining.
I don't know why Mikey just doesn't go for face cards, man.
The Lucky Cat, let's see. Where was it?
Yeah, I didn't see the Lucky Cat. I didn't see the sock.
It's an Ante 3. Ante 3, it's one of the first few things that pops up.
Damn, I wonder why I didn't see it, because I know I was re-rolling a good bit through then.
I mean, it is early to take Lucky Cat, but I saw it after I had opened.
Yeah, there was a lot of magicians. That's like by the time I was in like Ante 6, I had damn near every face card.
Yeah, I think I already had opened the Blueprint and I saw Lucky Cat. I'm like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
But then I tried to transition away from it once I got to Endless mode. I just used it for all the money, and then once you have all that money, I took something that was interesting that I don't usually do. Was there's, I think, Ante 4, you get the voucher to increase how frequently tarot cards, right?
Yeah, I took that for deck fixing.
I took that for deck fixing, because I already kind of had Lucky Cat and a couple lucky cards. So I had like by almost like ante 10, I had only King of Spades they were all lucky King of Spades. And I had the idol. So it was just the idol hit King of Spades literally every single card.
Yeah.
And then I switched them to glass and got re-triggers on them, and it went kind of nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I hope and I don't think it's gonna matter that I, missed out on that stuff. But man, missing out on that sucks because I could have put up a big score.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the only difference in yours and I's runs was I had lucky cards. I went full throttle into the lucky cards, and that just made me. I got access to a few more shops. Score update for those in chat. Mason's in the lead with 5.47 E14. Mike, you just got a new score of, you said 836?
Yeah.
Will is currently in second with 87 million. But there's still some time here. They have 10 minutes remaining. I'm going to bring them in and let them know that...
Yo, that's my goat, little big guy, 3810. W's in the chat, big guy.
Welcome in. Mikey and Will. You guys have 10 minutes remaining to finish out these runs.
Alright. Well, this will be my last one.
Good best of luck to you guys. I don't want to keep you here too long. But
it's okay, you can keep me here. I'm gonna be losing.
You
in
can
a second
keep
now.
me here.
I'm sending you away.
Mikey just put up
he did just
a
hit
1
mil.
point. It was like a 1 point something, 1.2, 1.3 mil, something like that. I don't know. Unless Mikey goes into glass cards, I think his build has pretty much hit its limit.
Yeah, he definitely needs I think the antimatter comes any second now. I think it's anti 11.
1.3.
But did he buy a blank voucher?
I think he did. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Am I like tweaking, or should he should definitely not have his his brainstorm on
No, you're correct.
Yeah, he'd be scoring like at least 3 times more.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Will, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I do have
Dude,
a
Will,
suggestion for the
you
future
guys
call.
missed it.
Yep.
Oh, you go first.
For when you are seed hunting, I think you should record your games, and then when you do find the seed, you just keep the recording of that one. And if you still come out on top of like score wise, you could like do like a post show review of that.
Maybe. I just, like I said, when I'm
Just
hunting
show
for a
everybody
seed,
the crazy thing that they missed.
yeah, that would be fun.
Right,
But
because nobody grabbed Lucky Cat here.
that was just lucky. Like I think Will's done. There's no way.
Yeah.
Will, we saw you ended your run there with only 8 minutes remaining. Are you gonna go ahead and call it there?
I'm going it.
All right. As of now, you're welcome to tune into the stream now. You are currently in second, so you're the best you can get a second. We'll sit here and we'll kind of zoom in. Oh, on Mikey. I think that's gonna be it. Welcome in, Mikey.
Yeah, it looks like it.
You have 7 minutes remaining.
I'm good.
Okay. Then I guess we'll final scoreboard update. It's gonna be Mason coming out on top with 5.47 E14. Will in second with 87 million, and Mikey in third with roughly 140 or 1,400,000 roughly. So congratulations, Mason. You are going to be winning the Balatro tournament number 2. Both really strong performances from both of your games. It was really fun. Really fun to watch you play. With that, thank you all, anyone that watched, and thank you all to the future YouTube watchers. It was a lot of fun to put this on. I really had a great time just kind of sitting here and casting and hanging out with my friends. And like, I don't know, I plan to keep running these in the future, because if you guys are enjoying them, and if all the people here are enjoying them, then I'm going to keep them coming, because these are fun to me. It's fun watching you guys play. But for now, everyone have a good night, and I hope to see you all in future streams or in future YouTube videos.